Welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Deep Dive series. It's your host here, Jazz. This is a series that I've been doing where I just take people that I'm very fond of in this space that I've met along the way, and I kind of showcase what they're doing, the positivity they bring to the space, along with maybe some projects that they're working on. And we just talk casually about Web3 and stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. I got a very close friend of mine I've known for a long time in this space, and by long time since I've started in this space, my good friend V1rtual N0mad. So please welcome V1rtual. Hey, what's up, buddy? That's all
Hello?
right. Yeah, we're over here. We're over here. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I'm down here. Can you see me?
And
How are
if
you,
you
mate?
guys couldn't tell, Virtue is a very great personality. It's one of the reasons why I get along with him so well. So welcome, man. How you doing tonight? Well, this morning, since you're in Australia.
Is this where I apply? I've got my resume. Um, so do we start now, or is this just you
Yeah, you're good.
interviewing me? And yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
you were good.
Ask me a
You were good.
question. I'm good. I've got my resume and everything.
Just make sure when
Yeah,
you
I'm
hold
good,
up
mate.
the clues that you hold them steady for a minute so they get focused. That was a little, yeah. If you have any clues, because I know you got your server kind of checking you out tonight. What was that? A play?
Hmm.
Was that a playwright? Was that a playwright?
Can't divulge that, mate. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, how's everybody doing in the community tonight? Everybody good? I hope everybody's
Well,
having a
they're
great night.
paid. They're all paid, so they're all happy. I think the crowds are under control. The tickets are down, so that's good.
Yeah,
So they've been winning money left, right, and centre, so they've got no reason to complain. So
that's good. That's good. And like I said, you're over in Australia, so it's morning for you. It's Thursday morning. It's Wednesday night for me. Not sure where
yeah, I'm
everybody else
working
is
from
tuning
home,
in
as you can
from.
see.
Yeah, yeah, working in the corner. Yeah, so
Yes.
just a little backstory. I met V1rtual when I first got into the space. I want to say back at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. Um, great, great human being, great person, does a lot for the space, brings a lot of positivity. Always one of my go-to people when I had questions about projects and when I was doing some research. And a
You
lot
don't
of the
get
projects
answers.
no, I would get really detailed answers when I would answer you. I'd be like, why did I even ask him? Because now I don't even want to work for this project. I
Sorry.
would always reach out when I was getting ready, like to work as an advisor or something like that for a project. I would reach out to you and be like, hey, check out this project, and you would always be like, it's rubbish.
I was a bit more diplomatic than that, but yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah, for the most part. But yeah, man. So let's talk a little bit about you. What got you to Web3? That's what I want to know. Like, what got you
I
here?
owed lots of money to a lot of people, so it seemed to be an easier way than pulling on a balaclava and robbing banks. Apparently, banks don't have money anymore. So now, for me, I stumbled into Web3, I guess, very early because my background is in film, so I'm seeing the slow, steady move towards, the transition of we've had, currency NFT, so artworks over into Web3. We're now seeing, the movement of sound, music, composing, all those kind of things, which we've talked about, move over to Web3. Um, and now, hopefully, at some stage when we can get obviously the storage and that issue sorted, we can do crypto 3 and film. But things like distribution of film rights and obviously royalties, the stuff that guys are striking about right now, that can be probably solved with crypto. So for me, that's why I got in early. And by chance, I just started to happen. I'm in art as well, so it was fun to be part of it a couple of years ago. And yeah, we've stumbled our way through to where we are now. But yeah, that's what got me started, was to be here early for the film side of things. So I'm still waiting for that to happen, but it's slowly coming. I mean, we've got a couple of people that are doing big things in film and moving over to Web3. I think with this strike and what's going on, I think we'll get there probably sooner than we probably realize. So
And now in real life, you do work you're in the film industry. If you want to disclose that, you're more welcome to. But I know right on your profile, you pretty much doxed yourself in Discord. You've been one of the few people that I've known has been doxed since day one, since I met you. With your profiles, you have no problem with that. But you want to talk a little bit about in real life, like kind of like what you do, what you have done before you got in the Web3?
yeah, sure. So I'm a technical writer by trade, so I go out to various organizations, governments, departments, companies, large companies, the miners of the world, the pharmaceuticals, telecommunications, that sort of stuff. And I translate a lot of their technical speak into the layperson that needs to obviously follow instructions and procedures. I also do a bit of creative writing, and that's what sort of got me started on the road to writing scripts. I've written a couple of scripts. I've sold a script. I then went into producing movies. I've directed a couple, won a few awards, and now I'm sort of gearing up for a feature next year. So, yeah, so I sort of balance the technical with the creative. And my background is in film, self-taught. Got in, took a chance on myself. I do things like props, design sort of graphic design work for props for major films. Yeah, I do a little bit of background extras. Obviously these things. Everybody wants to see people in the background with tattoos. So if they're all signed off by your artist, you can get on set. So yeah, I've done some work as extras as some sort of thug in the background or prisoner or security. But yeah, it's fun. It just gets you out of the mundane day to day stuff, and you get to sort of see behind the scenes. I also do it to the extra work just so I can see other directors working and gauge. I mean, my film I took 60 people out into the middle of nowhere, and we filmed something that did really well. So it's now playing over in the UK, and yeah, so it set me up for everything I do in life. I think is a test for the next step. So I always, same as Web3, whatever I'm doing now is a test or a litmus, a sample of what's to come. It's a way of trial and error before spending big bucks on things that might just plummet. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for try before you buy, and spending a lot of money on things that don't come to fruition. So yeah, that's my life in film.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I know you shared a short film that you like directed, and I think you might have wrote it too. It was amazing. It was
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
thanks, man.
It wasn't that long. I mean, it was probably like a 20-minute video movie, like mini. I don't know how you
Yeah,
would recall that
so it's
short.
a short, yeah, short film, but it was based around going to the streamers and trying to get a series up and running. So we had enough footage that we did for that to make it into a short film afterwards, and we then took that around the world. I think we went to about 300 festivals, and we come away with nearly 300, prizes. So
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, some people it's great when we get into this space. Like, you just think we're like people behind the scenes, like working on an NFT project, and they have no idea like what we've done in real life. What our
Oh,
past may be. So it's kind of cool to hear that. You got a success in the film career, writing and whatnot. But it also shows because when I see you work in your project, I see the hard work that you put in, and I also see the creativity that comes with it, and all the work that you're doing, and it all ties together because of the fact that in real life, you do that for a living. So it kind of makes sense that when your Web3 project, that we see that and it reflects there, which is awesome. So I do want to talk a little bit about projects. I know you started a project about a year ago called the Crypt NFT. That's what the server started as, with the zombies and some really, really amazing art that you were doing with a mixture of AI and your own creativity. And I'm always a fan. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that journey and like what got you to decide to do your own project instead of just being a part of projects. I know you were a D God holder for a long time, and you've been in a lot of the blue chip projects. So what made you want to just do your own thing?
I guess just juggling big teams, opinions, differences in creativity and stuff like that I've seen, wreck other teams. So for me, it was like I could, my skill set is very limited. I'm an artist. I can market things, I can do things, but I'm not a dev. So first of all, I needed to find someone who was a dev, if I was going to do anything myself. Being an artist, you can tie your boat to various projects, but again, that team is only as good as the members inside it. So if you fail or one of the others fail, the whole thing comes down, and everybody gets the same tarnish with the brush. If someone rugs it or whatever. So I've always been an advocate of checking out teams and stuff like that. Now, I it's not that I couldn't find anybody to tie my boat to. It was just that I thought I'm going to try this myself. Same way as I approach film, same way as I approach life and work. So for me, I decided I was going to step up and be a founder. Now, that was the start of a long and painful journey, learning the ropes of what you need to do. I was lucky and fortunate that I'd met a number of people in the space, through those projects, yourself, Vittler and Priest and all the other guys that now part of my little community. These guys showed me the way. These guys, every member in mine has taught me something new about the way to interact with the community. So I pulled on my big boy pants and said I was going to do a project. We developed it. I had lofty goals, and that's not a bad thing. I think if you've got lofty goals, but if you can see a stage progression to get to those goals, I think, yeah, it's not. Oh, I'm going to go to the moon tomorrow, and how are we going to get there? I don't know, but we're going to get there. I think if you can show the small incremental steps towards that goal, people then start to go, you know what, there's some traction here, there's some movement, and they get involved. So I had art that I wanted to get out to the world. I started off. We put out the zombie game, which essentially was, 128 pieces of art split down the middle by zombie versus special forces. We minted those, and then we played a little game where it was, one versus one. Whoever won moved on to the next round and the next round, and then we were paying out on every round. So what the difference there was, we weren't paying winners moving forward. We were paying the losers that fell away, to the point of we had two left, and then out of that, I think they won 20 soul, probably 30 something soul between the two, the first and second place. But what was novel about that was that the losers were getting paid as they were walking away after losing. They were getting, a little handshake with some money in it, and that, I think, sort of set the scene for what was to come. Is we were going to do things a little bit different. Um, we gave all the money away. We didn't take any money for ourselves, and I think that was another characteristic that we were very keen on. Some people might say that's stupid, but I'm a big believer in, let people see what your worth is, develop a community, develop the project, and they will follow you to the ends of the earth. I can put my hand on my heart now and say, after this period of time, I've got probably one of the diehard families of all the communities. I mean, these guys show up time and time again to support me. There's no, you have to be here every day or else. They come, they go, but they're always there. I put a message out, I get responses all the time. They show up when they need to. We've all got lives, and we don't run it like, there has to be something going on every day. So, yeah. I'm just looking at some of the things coming in. So, yeah,
Yeah, you can
Sabito
see the
and
chat, right? You can see the
yeah,
chat.
Mr.
Yeah,
Spocky, both were fighting it out for the zombies, but they were my OG collection. So now they are at the forefront of everything I do. I made a promise to those guys. I said, if you hold a zombie from now on, whatever I do, you'll be at the forefront of that. So that will mean free things. It will be first in. It will be, that VIP treatment. That's the OG collection. From there, we then decided to do a few pieces of like individual art through exchange art, which was really good. I've done pretty well out of that.
yeah.
So
Some of your horror stuff is amazing that you've done.
thanks, mate. And it's one of those things I try to get to, but obviously we're innovating in the community at the moment, so it gets sort of pushed to one side. But yeah, so we did that, and then we did the super stunning simian soldiers. They were a collection of futuristic AI slash, I call them curated pieces, because AI will do so much, and then I have to go in and fix things up. It's still in its infancy. So back then, Mid-Journey was, very, very early. Nowadays, you can do a lot more and have to do a lot less to fix them up. But I still like to add that personal touch to them. So we did a number of super stunning simian soldiers, futuristic apes that were soldiers. We minted those, and they became a fund. So they're about to go live. Now they're all personalized, so everybody's got their name on them. It was another this is the community, reward the community, tell everybody who's in it. And so we gave those out, and they'll start reaping rewards now with some of the stuff that we're doing in the back end, the games and stuff like that. They will be getting some money from that funding. So we've offset those guys. There's two funds that we've got. These guys are the second to launch with their payouts. The first one is the Crypto Cats, which was 2D art that I did. I've got a whole bunch of characters that I'm sort of pushing out at the moment. We've got the Giga Brain out at the moment, little cat, grumpy cat. Now they're worth 2 Sol to buy, but I've guaranteed by underwriting those that they'll always be 2 Sol. So it's not one of those projects where you come along and you buy in at 5 Sol, and then a month later it's down to 0.2 and dropping. We've underwritten this so that it's a fund that's always working. You come in, you stay for the period of time, you'll get that, you'll still have 2 Sol at the end of it. So we've guaranteed that. So that was another initiative that we did just to reward those that stay, rather than coming in and flipping. It's more that this is a home for most people. It's their launch pad into Web3. In other communities, they all come through our door and, go and find other communities to be a part of. But we have that foundation where we're not going away. We're not going to fold up our table, like the street salesmen, buy gold watch here today, and then tomorrow you go back and say it's not really gold, and they're folded up the table and they've gone. We're going to be here, so I know, till it comes crashing down, or we all go to the moon. That's where we're going to be.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I've been, like I said, I've been part of your project in a while. Mr. Rob here saying amazing art. I'm assuming, Rob, you found some of the collections we're talking about online. That's awesome. Yes, there is some amazing art. I will say, like some of the stuff I have are just collectibles. Just want to say what's up to everybody. I see Corey in here. I see Devolved in here. Ochi, Priest. You guys are amazing. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know Priest and Devolved, we all go back, way back. We all, all known each other a long time in this space. So good to see you guys here. But yeah, Rob, man, some of the art that Virtual puts together is absolutely amazing. The new game that he's doing right now with Soul Snap and the whole the ladies that he put together are just absolutely amazing. Like I'm always impressed. Like I go into like an AI and I try to do something. Like people think AI is so simple. Like you just push buttons and boom, you got a cool picture. If you don't know the correct prompts to get all the detail and how to get it to be so detailed by putting in like, I'm sure you probably put in like 30, 40, 50 words on some of your AIs. Whereas somebody thinks it's just like put 2 words in girl or gorilla, space, the
Yeah.
simple stuff, but it's not that simple. It really isn't. It's like,
And again, with my background in technical writing, I mean, I work with words all the time. So if I don't know something, I'll certainly find it very quickly, messing around with that. So again, I've trained mine up in a certain way. I've saved all my prompts. I've got spreadsheets upon spreadsheets where I can draw from where that worked, that didn't work. I've got a paid membership so I can bang this out and see. But I won't produce something that I couldn't stand by. And I've always said this, and I think we've had this conversation. If I couldn't print that and put it on a wall behind me and stand there and be, like that's my piece of work, I don't want to put it out there. I just won't, because I think NFTs, we can all just throw stuff out into the ecosystem and people go, but imagine you going to a friend or whatever and saying, hey, I bought this for $500, and they look at it and they go, I don't quite understand why you would spend that much money for that. So I want the artwork to stand on its own 2 feet. If you saw it in the street on a poster, or you saw it, in a gallery, or you saw it on a friend's desktop, you'd go, "Oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that from?" And then that leads into the bigger conversation of Web3 and stuff, rather than going, "Did your kid draw something and put it on the wall?" And you go, "Yeah, that's funny, but at the end of the day, is it still going to hold its value and still appeal to a mass audience?" And I think the artwork that I try and put out is done, and that's all on Exchange Art. If you look up V1rtual N0mad, you'll find a number of series. I do everything from wallpapers for people's phones as gifts and stuff like that, through to stuff that we can use in games and stuff. So they're all trial and error beforehand. What comes up onto there is obviously, we've found something that we like, and it will either be something that will lead into a set, or it will be a one-off piece that people can collect. But again, I just want people to be happy with what they're buying and spending money on. So
Yeah, I mean, I was always blown away by some of the just the detail and the art that you put together. It's like so realistic. Like some of the like the simians, like they were like I remember you were showing them to me when you were doing them before. Like we had people pick them out, and I was going through the collection with you, and it was just like holy crap, like absolutely amazing detail in them, like some super cool stuff. And like and then again, you also do a lot of one-on-one pieces. Like I was saying, you had that horror collection you did like that
yeah,
stuff is it's absolutely like if you're into like late 80s and like 90s or even late 70s like horror movies like you know Friday the 13th, Jason and just Michael Myers, like all that stuff. Like some of the stuff that you did for them like that kind of like genre was just absolutely amazing. You did I think you did some Chucky pieces too, right? Did you do a Chucky?
yeah.
I
There
think you
was
did.
the 10 sort of slasher icons that I did, a top 10 of slasher icons. And yeah, I went through those. We've done like 100 years of history, which just passed. 22 was 100 years we've had horror films. And so it started way back in the 1930s when horror was an infant. And, it started to come to the fore, obviously in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, but just tracking it through. So went back through history, found the old movies, got AI to start putting a representation and then steering it into what I wanted it to look like, and then started putting those out. I will be coming back to those, but those pieces are very near and dear, obviously, to me, being in film and stuff like that. But again, it was a reflection of the time. I start things, I will finish things. I always finish things. It's just, I've got a community now that are begging for more things to keep them happy and doing stuff, which is which is fine. It's a sideline, but I'll always go back to that. So
Yeah, I mean, and you do a great job with the creativity because like what I love about what you do in your project is that it's different. And when I say it's different, guys, like it's not like NFT projects where are similar. Like virtual really comes up with these games and these like I'm a degen. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I am a straight degen. If you give me anything that has strategy or any kind of like thinking I gotta do, I'm all in it. And I'm sure the community will tell you, anybody that's in this community, the last 2 days, I've been minting like a madman. I got notepads. I got numbers written down. I'm like playing the strategy game here for his newest project because he creates these like new like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just it's different. Like
they're
I've been in
layered.
NFTs a long time. Yeah, it's like there's so much to it. Like you could do this strategy or you could do this strategy, and and at the end of the day, no matter what strategy I choose, there's still a way for me to make some decent soul back. And then all the soul that comes in from the mint, he pretty much just gives out the prize money, and he's also setting himself up for future projects that are going to extend off of these projects. So it's really like he said, layered to the point that like it's so well thought out that like we're in game like say 2 and he's already got game 4 he's working on and it's tied in the game 1 and 2, you know, like it's really that layered and it's really it sounds complex in his mind, it's probably really complex, but he makes it so easy for us once he puts it out there. So I just want to commend you for that, man. I'm always like when you did the zombie game, it was kind of like a Dungeon and Dragons thing with the dice, and then now with Soul Snap, it's like a matching game, and the strategies that I'm doing, I absolutely love what you do, man.
So going back to the history of the community, the Crypt is obviously the first game that I had in my head, which was going to be an underground mine that we'd all go through, and we would be picking up treasure along the way. And if you made it all the way through to the end, you can come out the top at the back end of the maze, so to speak, underground. Come out of the crypt, and whatever soul you managed to grab on the way through, you were going to keep. Without a dev, I was punching air essentially. So what I had to do is step back a bit and go, great idea, let's do that. But how do we make this without a dev? So with each game that we did, be it the zombie game was very heavily, we put a lot of meta into the back end of the zombies to then start playing around with, okay, what does large amounts of like D&D meta look like on an NFT, so that we can progress that further down the track to the crypt. Then we decided, how would we go with like rolling die? So it ended up being me rolling the die because we didn't have
I know, dude. You would
I
be in
tell
the
you,
you'd be in the voice.
128 one-on-one, round by round. I was sitting there in hours, 3 hours, just rolling, talking to myself because everybody was asleep, and go right. And I did that so I could obviously show that we were actually going through and doing it the right
My man
way.
was playing games so we can make money.
Yeah, I was sitting there talking to myself, rolling die, just having a laugh. People like, "What are you doing? Why are you streaming this?" Like, because people need to know that we're actually doing this for them. And so again, what we were trying to do is test different things. We have a website where you can go in and see people rolling dice. Now we can invite people now. They've got websites that we can invite others to roll dice. So again, tick that box as something that we're learning for gameplay. We then moved into, some of the other mechanics and stuff like that. Soul Snapper's got mechanics that I'm testing for the Crypt. So everything I do is leading towards the Crypt game being, less dependent on devs with all the coding and everything that can go wrong, and more, how do we do this very simplistically? And then once I've got a working prototype, I guess, of something that I can go, all we need is to do this, this, this. And if you can wrap it in some sort of, Web3 dev style application, we've got a winner. So everything I do has to be simple because I'm simple. It has to pay out because I want my members to win. And along the way, I mean, we just done Soul Snap. We've got 240 soul, of which I think we keep 20 something. So the sum goes out to Risha, our dev, who set up the candy machine and everything else like that. The two funds, the Crypto Cats and the Simians, they both get whatever's left. But 194 soul is guaranteed to go out to the community. So, you know, you can do the figures. People are winning lots of money and they're happy. I'm getting 20, 30 tickets a day that I've got to wade through. But yeah, the guys are happy. So I think we found our niche. I think we found our little lane. We don't need to make a lot of money. I don't need to make money from Web3. I mean, it's nice if I do, but I've got a full-time job. I'm happy. I get paid a lot, well. So that's enough to cover me off and put some back into the community to, like I said, underwrite anything that I'm doing. So whereas people have to make it a winner straight away to succeed and to stay in space, I don't need to do that. I can take the long approach, the long game, and yeah, that's the approach I'm taking. So there's no quick flips, there's no rugs. I don't need to do this. I'm fully doxed. People can reach out and actually, that's the guy there in the street if they need to.
Yeah.
But I'm taking
Come
the
to your film premiere. Be like,
yeah,
hey, give me back my
hey,
free soul.
yeah, I got this JPEG. You ripped me off. Give me it. Excuse me a minute. Um,
Yeah. So your
so
JPEG is actually the star of this movie.
yeah. Um, So yeah, I mean, for me, I've got to be accountable to the community. I think I am. Everything I do is above reproach. We make everything transparent. Everybody knows where the money is. Everybody knows what's going on. It's like we're all part of a small team, and that's why I think we have the benefit of being so small and without the influx of everybody just coming in for a quick flip and then taking off again. We get 1 to 2 people probably a week. That's tops. We'll get one, but when they come in, they get a warm welcome, and they're there forever. Then they don't go anywhere. They buy in. They see what we're doing. They start talking. They see the atmosphere and the camaraderie we have between the members, and our members would bend over backwards for each other. Help them out. Oh, I need point 0.2 soul. It's not well. Here, and if there's something free here, share it around. That's the team, that is the community that I've built around me, and it just attracts. We won't tolerate people that come in and start wanting to do this and this and trying to scam, or sending people on a wild goose chase or whatever. We have some good partnerships with other communities that I'll stand by as well. I've done my homework on those guys, and we're all not making millions of dollars, believe me, but it's a slow incremental growth to actually get where we want to be, and that is have this income coming in where we're getting paid rather than I made a flip, but then the next 3 flips of losing money hand over fist, and why did I get into this, and everybody walks away. I think the days of mass entry, quick flips and stuff are gone. People are more savvy now. They've been burnt, and they're not going to get burnt a second time. So, all that damage that we did right at the start, quick flips, people were making masses of money and moving on. I think those days are over. I think people are looking for the slow burn now. Okay, just pay me a little bit, but just keep paying me. That'd be nice, rather than me getting this and then I go to the next project and I lose it all, and then I have to start again. So
Yeah, and I can attest to that. And like Ochi said, he just found out about the project from a tweet that I put out after I won some soul. And it's that kind of organic growth that's really good for communities. When you're really not worried about scaling, your main focus is building, having some fun, having rewarding people, and just providing a positive experience in this such a toxic space. I mean, that's what I love about what you're doing, man. You do a lot of really good stuff, and it's really like genuine, and it just comes from a good place because you're a good person down the earth, and so it's like you're just giving back, you're taking money and you're allowing people to put their money into a pot and then take right back out of the pot. And I will say, like earlier, I cashed out today alone 7 soul. I've already cashed out probably like 10 or 12 soul prior to that. Again, though, guys, I am a degen. I minted a lot because I love supporting my homies. I've probably minted like 40 or 50 NFTs. So but it's not about the money to me. It's about having fun, the strategy, and like the whole positive feel that I have. I'm excited like to do it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna mint a couple more. Let me see if I can get these matches. And I'm on Magic Eden. I'm looking, I'm watching the listings, and I'm talking in chat. It's like a game, and I'm having fun. I haven't had fun with an NFT in a while. It's been like over a year since, well, probably since zombies, since the last time I had fun. So
yeah,
it's like it's really cool to see like this kind of like and it's not large scale like the heist is real large scale, and they're having fun in their own way. But this is like smaller, more intimate, and it's more rewarding, honestly. Like again, I don't care if I make my money back. I don't care if I lose a little bit of money because I'm supporting you and I'm helping you build the project that allows this game to continue onto the next version, the next version. And I just want to touch base on something else you said in there. I don't know if you guys caught, but Virtual mentioned Risha, and you guys know Risha is on our team at the Coders. He actually is the dev for the project and helps Virtual out, does the candy machine and a lot of the back end stuff. That's why you don't see, Risha has been very busy with his in real life and helping Virtual on a lot of things. But I do have a surprise. I'm not going to blow the roof off yet, but for all of you people in Decoders that haven't met Risha yet, because he's the only one you haven't seen on camera, that time is going to expire soon. You're going to meet Risha. I'm not going to say when, but it's going to be soon. So look forward to that. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of the work he's doing for Virtual as well, because I want to, Risha's a very smart person. He's one of the smartest people I've met. So I look forward to that conversation. But yeah, man, Virtual, man, I appreciate you so much, man. I really love what you're doing, and I want you to continue doing this. And I hope more people find out about you, but in that organic growth way, so they can come in and be like, "Hey, this is really cool. This is different." So, uh,
yeah, and we're experimenting to latch on to new players that want something different. So, for example, we did a sort of a game within a game. So I don't know if anybody's seen the Twitter feeds and stuff like that, but we're doing artwork around the community that we have, the rivalry we have with Buddles. Now, John C, Dodger, and all those guys over at Buddles have got their own community. We're not trying to steal anything from them. We're both in both communities. I believe most of the people are cross pollinated, and I fully support what they do. Yeah, it says we're having streaming issues, which explains Australia at the bottom end of the world. So, but for me, I saw the heist, and I knew it was going to be big. I mean, I got in, pretty early on the piece, and I took the gamble and went, yeah, okay, I'm going to get in. But in doing so, I could see that why reinvent the wheel when I could do something to help my members who couldn't afford the 20 soul when it was 20 soul to get in with the when it was at its peak to get in with a chimp. So I said, how do I get my members a slice of this cake? They're all standing at the window looking in, thinking, "Well, if only I had 20 soul, I could play." So we developed a little team where we could get 10 players that all put in 2 soul. I had a couple of extra chimps, sold the chimp to that team. So for 2 soul, the community now has a chimp that it's playing. We do a roster. They get to choose where they send that chimp, and they benefit at the end. And we just finished season 1, and everybody got paid through the end of the season 1 from being part of that. And that also relates to the cat fund, which that stemmed from, and the Simians have got a team as well. So both of those now have got teams that's 10 players in each. And we've got the cartel cats now that have just come in, and we're playing against the Buttles, and we do it for rivalry. So there is an added dimension there where we introduce people to the Buttles. Buttles gets introduced to us just to say hi, but they're focused on their community winning. And so obviously I'm loath to say this. I set this up, but they won the last one, so we've got to get some pride back and beat them on season 2. But essentially, we made a game within a game, very simplistically. I did the art. I gave new art out, so they have realistic-looking chimps for the heist. Then we went, how do I translate this into something I can do fairly rapidly for things like Twitter to put announcements out. So I actually tweaked it and I did some cartoon artwork, which you'll see on my Twitter, the Crypt Twitter. And everybody, wow. So now we're going to do a comic that sort of charts the progress over season 2. And we'll do that as an NFT. And then, I'll print and I'll publish those up. I mean, the amount of ideas that we've got in the Crypt, I mean, the guys who are part of the community will tell you we've got so many things on the go, but they know it's coming. So there's a pipeline. We just did 2 roadmaps for the simians and the cats. The pipeline's full. I couldn't fit any more in. I'm struggling with time. So, yeah, for me, it's, we've got a pact to the end of the year. I don't think I'm going to be stopping anytime soon. So, yeah, to to come back to that difference, that point of difference. Everything I do, every game that I design, we've got the Torpedo Squadron, we've got Cannibal Cabal, everything that's coming up, we've got a new dimension to it. So it's not, oh, this is well worn, let's just keep doing this and just change the imagery or the artwork. No, there's always something new and complex to it. And again, every single aspect is like building a prototype and then going, take that and bolt that onto the Crypt ready to go. And at some stage, the Crypt will be ready to go with all these pieces all put together. So you're seeing the creation of the Crypt across many collections, and then that final collection will be the masterpiece.
I see a question. I'm going to backtrack to Corey here. We were talking a little bit about funds and stuff. I'm going to put it up. It seems like you're giving away all of your soul with these games. How are you managing your assets to sustain us winning like we are? Do you want to touch about that? Like pretty much how you're sustaining
Yeah,
the
I'm slowly
project?
going. Yeah, I'm slowly going bankrupt. I'm feeding money into the project now. There's always something in the background happening. So we've got some trading funds that we did. I've held a lot of the funds back from when we first minted. I think we've got nearly 200 soul invested. So whereas the guys are going, we're only getting pittance. The pittance is coming from that. We've got a large stack of soul in the background that's generating cash for us, whether it be staking, whether it be investments in things like the chimps. We sell those, we get our money back, we get the cocoa, we get the nana, we got heaps of nana. I'm doing smart moves in the background without boring the guys. There's investments there that will guarantee that we'll get something in. I won't put money into something I'm not going to see a return in. I went into the ape coin. We put a lot of money into ape coin when it was doing really well, and then it just tailed off and dropped out. So what I did, jumped straight in, protected the guys' investments, grabbed it out, put it to one side, and now it's just sitting there staking, and we'll get ready to restake it into something else. I will not, and I've always said this to the guys, you will not lose money I will not spend your money frivolously. I'll always look after it. So I treat it as if it was my own. Not that I use it like my own. I treat it as if it was my own. I don't want to lose money. I definitely don't want the community to be losing money. If we can make zero point 0.2 every day of the year, I'll take that over. Hey, you can make 20 sold tomorrow, but you could lose it as well. That's not the game we play. Like I said, we're here for the long term. The sustainability will be from my art projects. A lot of the art that I sell comes in. That's the profit that they see on monthly payouts. So if I sell a piece or if I give away a piece and then someone comes back and go, oh, you gave me this, I loved it, I'm going to buy that. You know, but it doesn't cost me anything to knock out art. I do it all the time. I love art. It's a blessing just to be able to do that. So, if I'm getting, $20 or something like that, I'd rather give, I can pay $5 that allows me to do something. The 15 goes back to the community.
Yeah.
Why? Because we want to build that audience for later down the track. I'm quite happy to take a loss now myself personally, knowing we're going to have that masterpiece down the end, and everybody go, "Wow, we never even saw this coming." You kind of did, but in little increments along the way. It's not this massive bang. It's here. Everybody get, it's not the heist who've been working behind the closed doors and then just drop it and then go, wow, and everybody runs in. We're doing small things, but we're doing good things for the community. So sustainability is at the forefront of everything we do.
Yeah, and I see OG talking about, the biggest add-on here was being able to connect with other people. I'm going to post it up here what he said. Experience firsthand, he found familiar names, but he wasn't really able to connect with them much like with them before because in bigger servers, it's hard to really connect with people. When you get into these smaller
Yeah,
servers though, and you see the same names, you're like, "Oh, wait, you're in this server with me," and then you get the chance to really talk to them. And the smaller communities really build that foundation. And for a great example of that is, how do I know Virtual? How do I know Risha? How do I know Ryan? How do I know Vince? How do I know Epiphany? How do I know Priest that's in the lobby? How do I know we all were on one project together, and that's where we all met. And now
I
we've
say this
all
for life.
expanded out into all these other projects, but we're all still working together and we're helping the space, all because we all found each other in one community. So it just goes to show you, what the power of community really is in the space. I think it's bigger than any utility you could offer. I think that if you have a solid community, that's your best utility for any project. And you do find it in the Crypt. Like I said, it's a very small community, but it's very solid and it's very patient investors, and it's people that understand the market conditions, and if they have that patience to be there to participate in these games. And Virtual told us in the beginning, the first mint, hold on to these NFTs, you're always going to be rewarded if you hold these OG NFTs. And sure enough, he just did a new project, a new mint, and if you had one, you got a free mint, and then you could have turned that free mint into money. You know what I mean? Like, the mint's only 0.8 soul, but at the same time, that's still, like, me, I had 4, so I saved myself 3 soul, in minting, because I got 4 for free. So it's just cool to see that he constantly honors that with every mint he does. If you have those OG project, like, you're going to be rewarded. So that's what's cool. He's rewarding that loyalty too, and that's another thing I love to see.
And the other thing, going back to the sustainability and stuff like that, is the two funds that we've got are now putting out, like, the ROI on the cats is 49.5% in 2 months. So I mean, it's a two sol, big deal. We're talking about one return. But who else can say that they stayed around for 2 months, that they can guarantee that the floor price will be two sold no matter what? In a year's time, you come back to me and go, look, I've got this cat. I really, I've got these cats. Can I give them back to you? We buy them back, two soul. Who can say that? Whether the soul's up or down, it'll always be two soul. And we're paying out at the end of the month. So we just had 2 months. And the guys are saying, oh, this is kind of cool now, every month we're getting paid. And I was like, we've been doing this is how we do it. And now the second month, it's like, it's not talk, there's guaranteed a payment at the end. And so we're the second, the simians, we're going to launch their payments now. So we've got some backlog of payments to give these guys. So the guys are holding the simians, you're going to get well and truly looked after. But I just wanted to make sure I had the strategies in place to do that before I go off and tell the world. And again, talking about, community, I see it as a bush telegraph. And by that, I mean that we've got this underground, we know each other in various communities. If we're going into something and I look at you, or I look at Vince, or I look at Epiphany, Priest, any of the guys, Spocky, any of the guys, and they're all looking at me going, "What do you think?" And I go, "There's something weird here. There's something not adding up. I don't know what it is yet." It ripples, and we know. And you and everybody, we all look at each other going, "Are we staying in, or are we jumping off?" And I think that's safety in numbers. The herd
Yep.
mentality is, you see everybody rushing in, and if I'm holding back, or I see someone else holding back, it's kind of a good it's a good indicator that there's something wrong. And from that, I think we all benefit. And we're small, but we're big across many. I mean, I think we're in pretty much every single community in some form or another. Amongst all of us, we've been in, or we are still in, every single community. I mean, we met in D-Gods, Wastelanders, and stuff like that. We've been in all the pumps and dumps. We've been in all those, and that's why I said, look, I want to rock. I've got kids that are asking about Web3, and I go, we need a safe space for these guys to come in, go out from, find out that not everything is wonderful, rainbows and unicorns, but they always come back and there's a safe space. And I've made sure that our guys will never get punished in anything I do. I always need to have some money behind me, so that if I do make a mistake and I put my hand up and go, you know what, I stuffed up, the guys aren't going to be penalized. They're not going to be wearing my mistake. So, I have a little bit of cash behind me. I will say that, if I'm going to try something, hang on, have we got a kitty ready to go, an emergency breakout bag? Yes, then we can do it. If not, I won't do it. So,
Yeah, man. And it's not just me that sees it. Here Lightning Crypto saying that you're something else comes to giving back, a leader in the space, and I 100% agree with this. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on one of the early shows, the episodes for Deep Dive, because you're one of the people. Like I said, since the time I met you, I've always respected your words, how you said them. Your perspective on projects, how you viewed them. In 2022, I pretty much was just working for projects. I was being an advisor. I was modding for projects. I was just getting my feet wet in Web3, and I was trying to network as best as I could. So I was working with all these projects, and like when I would start working with a project, I would always like shoot you, some details like, "Hey, can you check out this white paper? What's your thoughts?" And if you like trashed it and like totally poked holes in it, I literally be like, "Hey guys, I appreciate the advisor offer and the money you offered me, but I'm gonna have to pass because I have my own advisors." And that was a hint, by the way, if you guys aren't paying attention. Little hints coming up. Pay attention. Pay attention.
I've got to try and write that backwards.
I'd be impressive, but I think we can figure it out. I know
Yeah,
what that is. I know what that means. But yeah, back to what I was saying though, like virtual's been a very much of a rock for me in this space. With thoughts and just like bouncing ideas off of. There's been plenty of times where we've sat down. I know me, him, and Ryan. You guys all know Ryan. Where we've sat down and like talked about projects and pivoting other projects and trying to build things. In the past, before Decoders and before the Crypt was formed, we were in a server and we were just talking ideas, and Virtual had some great ideas then. And outside the AI art, you're also an amazing artist. Period. I've seen some of your artwork. Like you can actually draw. It's not just you're an AI artist, because a lot of people don't have that ability to draw too. And be an artist. Like some people just rely on the AI. But I have seen you actually do some great artwork too, which is also another plus.
it's all in
But
here. Don't worry.
yes, he has a resume.
My
People.
resume. Yeah, no. I present my resume. It is actually empty, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, we got it's just a link to like a roadmap and then to a white paper, and that's your resume. To be determined, future down the road. We're working on it, guys. The dev is doing
It's in
something.
progress.
Yeah, working on your resume. But yeah, if you guys are here from the Crypt, hanging out with us at the Coders, man, awesome to see you guys. Feel free to hop in our community if you're here from the Coders. Also, if you don't know how to get to the Crypt, I think I do have the Twitter linked in the video description for the Crypt, and you should be able to get a Discord off of there. If not, just message me in the coders. I'll get you invited, get you over there. And as long as you pass the vibe check, of course. Like I said, it's a very close knit, chill community where we're just there to be positive in this toxic ass space. And I think we're trying to do the same
Can
thing with the
I
coders.
can I just make a quick statement?
Sure.
If you're gonna hit me up for a collab manager and you're wanting Wi-Fi, please don't. All right.
that,
We
I saw
we've
you
had our
guys.
recruitment cycle for the month, and I'm sorry we're not hiring. So yeah,
Hey,
that was different.
anybody that sees me working the coders knows that I don't put up with shit. That's why when I came into your server and I saw that guy that day, I just went after him. I was like, bro, come on.
Look, if you're gonna reach out, and again, this comes back to that being upfront and honest. I don't mind people who come to me and say, "Look, I need a chance. Look, just give me something to do." What I don't like is someone telling me that they can do amazing things for me and they've got less Twitter followers than I have. They put out one tweet per day or week. They're not going to do anything for me. And again, I've got to manage funds for the community. So I said to these guys, I said, right, we're going to do an interview in our server. You're going to talk to these guys and you're going to pitch your shit. You pitch it to them. If they say that they're willing to give you money, all good to go. And kudos to them. They stood up and they said, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." But again, we were talking two different languages. Show me how you would do this, and then we get this flaky answer that was AI generated, and I was like, we don't need this. If I'm going to spend 10, 20 soul on people, I'm going to spend it on community. I'm not going to spend it on something I could do myself. I could hire a friend to do, or I could get someone within the community to do it. Why would I go outside? Again, I'm not looking for exponential growth. If I woke up tomorrow and there was 10,000 people in my server, I'd have a heart attack.
Yeah, you would just go in
Because
and
you
be
know
like,
what? 10,000 people would be going, right, what are you going to do for me?
no, they're gonna
What
be
are you going to do for me? Yeah,
when,
yeah. And when's it
give,
happening? Why
give,
hasn't it happened?
when,
I
give.
want money.
Yeah,
And
that
that's not what we're about. It is forming because we're going to go mainstream, and we keep saying that it's we're early and all the rest of it. We can see that in news stories around the world that we're going to go mainstream. Crypto is going to be the next currency of choice across the world. It's so easy. Yeah, we've got some way to go, but we're still early, and we're building and we're building and we're building.
yes.
Now, my group, my little community, and people I know, and communities that I admire and respect, we're at the forefront. We're staying the long game. We got people dive in, 10 minutes later, they're out. Oh, I'm never going back to crypto. Well, let me tell you, when you do come back to crypto, you'll be lost. It'll be like head snap. What the hell is going? What do I do? What? Because it hasn't been that sort of boiling pot thing with the frog. Throw it into scalding hot water and yeah, jump straight out. But if you put it in a pot and slowly boil it, gets accustomed to it, and it's like, yeah, no sweat. That's what our community is. We're weathering the storm. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We don't need to make money. We've got money. We're sitting pretty. We're playing our games. We're developing community. That's all we need to worry about. And the rest
What?
will take care of itself. We'll be there at the forefront.
Well, that's the cool thing is like when you guys sit down and you make these games and you do all the back end on it, you're looking forward to the next project. What do I need for the payouts, the prizes to make it fun and enjoyable and worthy to the people that are participating? What do I need for overhead and some fees? And because to build a candy machine and to push out a collection, it costs money, guys. It's not free. It don't cost a lot of money, but it still costs money. So you got to put that into consideration. Of course, people that are doing the time. I know it's just you and Risha working on the project right now, but I know you don't care about the
We
money
could
and you want
draw
to make.
people in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We draw people in if we need to. We've drawn
Yeah.
Ryan in and
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like
I'm
that. And
always here. All you have to do is
yeah,
ask. You give me perms in your server and say, "Hey, I just need someone to look after the server on these
yeah,
hours." I work in Discord. I'm always around.
yeah.
I have that blessed life where I can always be around. So I have no problem looking after friends' servers. It's not a power trip for me. Like, oh my god, I got admin perms. No, it's more like, yeah, bro, I'll ban some people and I'll make sure people stay in line to hook
Yeah,
you up so you could sleep. We are
yeah.
on different sides of the world, so it works out. But yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, you do have to have some overhead, and you have to consider, looking to the future. So with this latest mint, you're going to make X amount of dollars. You're going to put this much in the prize money, and I know you'll maybe have a few soul left over at the end of the day that you might be able to like do something with for yourself if you wanted to. And I know you won't do something for yourself. You'll just put it into the next pot to help the community out
Well, I can
again
tell you,
because
yeah, I can tell you exactly where he's going to go. Risha obviously needs to be paid, and that guy works. For me,
yes,
he's been a mainstay. I'm guilty that when it's been lean, we haven't paid, and I said to him, "Look, it's coming," and now that we found our niche, I can pay him.
yeah.
Um, so he's obviously gone off and done other things as well, but he believes in us, and he's the guy I believe in 110%. I'm so thankful. I wake up every morning and I just check that he's still part of the community, because if I
Yeah,
lost
he's
him,
not
I
going
don't
anywhere
know
for
what
a
I would
while.
do.
No,
And
Reach is the homie.
I can't pay him, what he's worth, because we are a small community. I mean, if we had 5,000 members, I'd put him on the payroll tomorrow. But he and I think, are on the same page that we want to build something that's long lasting. I'm taking a hit. I don't care about that. It's not about, oh, poor me, I'm taking a hit. Everybody's making money. It's not about that. It's a long term game. Like I said, I'm not going without. I have my in real life income coming in, so I'm fine. I didn't come into Web3 to make money. I am shit at trades and stuff like that. If I tried to do it outside, I listen to smart people and I follow smart people. When I see that, yes, there's a pattern of, I'll jump in and I'll slipstream them. But show me another community that's given out 194 soul to its members. I'll wait.
Yeah. No, you're not going to find it, man.
The size of our community and what we're doing, 194 soul gone out, guaranteed. Transparency. At the end of all this, I will put out the figures and show all the. I mean, the guys can attest to that. The tickets are insane during the day that come through. But I mean, it's just going to get bigger, because the next one we're doing is it's that and more. Again, add another couple of mechanics to the next set, and off we go again. We're gonna, and again, hopefully, we put a flare up saying we're doing Soul Snap again. It's set 2, and it's bigger and better than set 1, and see what happens. But again, it's long term.
And as we're sitting here having a conversation, Ochi said he's minting, and I see him posting in your Discord that he just matched with another community member, and tagged the community member, and is trying to share the prize. And he just minted an NFT for zero point 0.8 soul, and it's a purple one that he matched. So the payout's 5 soul for the matching pair. So each one of them are going to get 2.5 soul back, which is pretty cool. And I mean, you don't find that in projects. That's what I'm saying. And not every NFT you mint's going to have a match. So there's that part of the game, because then it'd be almost impossible to sustain. So you got to have some losers. But the cool thing about virtual here is that there's never a loser, because what I've learned with him is it might not be something I'm going to use now, but I'm going to use it later. So you can imagine that as soon as this game's over and all the prize money's paid off, that the 30 or 40 NFTs that I have listed right now, because one of my strategies is the list for a decent price. Then people buy. I make a little bit of money. They can then redeem with their pair. They make a little bit of money. And the cool thing is that the royalties get there. And so the project's making a little bit of money. And that's why I've been doing this strategy more than hitting people up to share. I like the listing and letting people buy them. So I'm going to delist all of my NFTs as soon as the payouts are done, because I know that in the future that these 30, 40 NFTs are going to have another part of a game in the future that I'm going to love having the stockpile, even if it's 4 months from now. I don't care. You know how many NFTs I've had sit in a wallet for a year that did nothing, like absolutely jack shit for me, and I spent soul after soul. I mean, minimum for 200 soul, or should I say $200 a soul, and like I minted 20 of these fuckers, and they were like, one soul at $200, and they did nothing for me. So
Yeah.
I have no problem with them sitting there and just chilling. And plus, they're awesome to look at, because the art is top notch, So
And the alpha there is that this was part of a bigger collection. These ladies that you see are only a third of the collection.
yes, yes, I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
So
Hopefully, everybody
burn at
else
your
is
peril.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't burn
burn
them,
at your
and
peril.
And yeah, you might be out a little soul now, but you might get a nice little reward later when you're least expecting it.
And
And
that's go on.
good.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, and you were telling the community tonight, like there's gonna be some like hidden things in the stream. Like I saw you hold up a sticky note earlier, so yeah, hopefully you guys are paying attention to that because he is giving out a free mint token and some whitelist tokens, I believe you said, right? And the whitelist tokens knock off zero point 0.2 soul, so it's only 0.6 soul for a mint. And I don't think there's many left, guys, because I minted like 20 again today. I don't know what you're talking about, but I think we were down to like 80 not too long ago left. There's only 420 in this batch.
Yeah.
So,
And that was again taking a conservative view, knowing how many members we had, saying that we were going to give out free tokens to all the zombie holders. We had whitelisted people that get a discounted token, so then you're left with X amount of a collection to try and fund 194 soul. I found a way. So the math is there, it's in the background. I spent a long time doing that, and now that we found our niche, and it's doable, repeatable, I want to go, okay, well, we've done that. That works. Now let's add another layer of complexity. And when I say complexity, is we could do Snap all the time. Snap was a childhood game. So, I can't believe no one else has thought of this.
yeah, that's
It's
the
so
thing.
simple. I didn't need a dev. I just got some artwork together and away we went.
Yeah, it's simplicity, but it has complexity when it comes to the back end stuff. But the
Yeah.
simplicity is the nature of the game. You just match two pictures, the a color and the number of the picture. I mean, some of the NFTs, if you just look at them, they're hard to tell apart because maybe the head's a little tilted, maybe the face is a little different, the hair is a little different. But if you match the right NFT number and the color, that's the easy way to go. Like me, I was on Magic E and I was just going and searching NFT numbers and I was looking at all the ones listed. All right, well, I have a purple one. There's no purple listed. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. And that's what I've been doing. So it's been really cool to really get the strategy together. Like I said, I found my favorite strategy was, if I minted it for zero point 0.8 and the payout is say 3 soul, I'm gonna sell it for 1.3 soul. And then that person's going to pay royalties. So they're going to pay like 1.4 soul plus their 0.8 soul to minute. So now they're in 2.2 soul buying mine off the secondary. I've made 0.5 soul on top of my mint. You've made 0.1 soul in royalties, and they're still going to make 0.8 soul when they claim it. And to me, that's how I like the strategy to be because we're all winning. And if we're all winning, I mean, shit, you don't find
And
many communities where everybody can win.
and the other smart thing is, let's go back a couple of steps of what I said earlier, is that what's left over from what we mint and the mint money goes to what? Two funds. So you're a community player, you've won some soul in the game. At the end of this month, you turn around, you get a payout. Where do you think that payout's come from? Winning in the game, what's left over goes to the funds. So a smart person would be, if I've won 5, 10 soul in the game, why wouldn't I take 2 soul, put it into a cat, wait for the payout? It's already paying for itself. And again, I'm going to get a monthly payout from the cats from there on in. It's win-win. It's win-win-win-win. I mean, I can't, it's built on the premise that, if you don't win this time, you're going to win. We're just sharing money around. If And that's why the next set won't be Day of the Dead. It'll be another set, and then we'll come back to Day of the Dead. So you may not have been lucky this time. You're going to get lucky, and if you've managed to get a cat, you're sitting pretty. And like I said, we're upgrading art. The roadmaps are there for everybody to see. You tell me something I haven't done or haven't said, I was going to do and I haven't done. It's either programmed or it's done. So yeah, happy to stand by anything I've said in any of the servers, and the way that I hold myself is to account to the members. Always will be, always has been. So yeah.
And this is one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show and wanted to showcase you to maybe a bigger audience that maybe have not rubbed shoulders with you in a community and got to meet you and see the passion you have in this space to help others, because that's what it comes down to. You're not here for yourself. You enjoy Web3. You also enjoy helping others. Kind of like why I'm here. Like, I came into NFTs because I was bored. The bull market was over and I need something to invest in. I said, let's check out NFTs. And then now that we're in the bear market and I'm back in the crypto, I'm still here because of the community, and I'm here because I'm building a project with Vince and the rest of the gang here at the Coders. And I enjoy it because I like helping people. I like educating. I like spreading awareness and my perspective, because maybe my perspective might be different than yours, and you never know. My perspective might change your life because you might look at something in a different perspective and be like, wait a minute, that makes sense. And if you do that for one person in your life and you're able to like sway one person to a positive side where it changes their life to where their life then goes out and then they help other people, that's what it's about. And that's what you're exactly what you're doing with this community. All the projects, even being just a community member and projects that I was a part of with you, the contribution that you always gave was top notch, second to none. So I mean, again, man, I just wanted to tell you how much that I respect you in this space. I'm glad that you are here doing what you're doing, and I love seeing the community you built. Regardless if there's 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people, what you're doing is positive, it's genuine, and I can't say positive enough, but it's just such a great, like a fresh breath of air. You know what I mean? Like I
And
can't describe it. It's different, you know?
and can I say that it's people like yourself, Vince, who I can't say enough about. That guy is a legend. And the reason why I do what I do is he showed the way. Like that guy lent me probably 9, 12 grand in dust
Yep.
when dust was like shitloads.
$5, $6.
And I wanted to go through the process of getting my D gods to dead gods, and he lent without even saying a word. He said, "Look, I've got this here. Have it. You'll pay me back. It's all good." That guy lent me, and I could have just gone, "Wee, 12
It just
grand.
just
I'm gonna run."
disappeared.
Yeah, but no, that guy looked out for me. I'll look out for him. If he needs anything, he only has to ask. I mean, I might not be, set up like he is, but he has me in his corner, and I'll do whatever I can. I'll work round the clock for that guy and yourself and every other member who wants to start something, wants to try something. I'm there for them. So that's what we're building here. It's not money. Money comes and goes. It changes hands. You've got to pass it on. If you
Yep.
hold it too tight, you'll lose it. So you just got to keep it circulating, and then more comes through and more comes through, and you give it out and you get it back. But what I'm interested in is the people. Like I said,
Yep.
I might not meet any of these people that are in my community in real life because of distance and all the rest of it. But they know that they only have to send me a message and say, "Hey, this has happened. Any chance?" I'll be there for them. So that's what we're building is relationships and communities. And if we haven't got that, what's Web3?
No, for sure. Like I think that, again, I think it's one of the best things that I found in NFTs was the community aspect, and my past, being a musician and just writing music. I found that I was helping people doing that, and that's why I enjoyed it. And now Web3 is like that new fire, that new passion. I'm able to help people on a different level and educate and like really like. And I learned everything from other people. Like I've learned from you, I've learned from Vince, I've learned from Risha, I've learned from everybody I've worked with. So that's what it is we're just constantly helping each other, and it just expands all of us because we're able to help other people out too. Um, but with that said, man, is there anything that you want to talk about that maybe I haven't asked you about? Maybe you want to shed a little alpha for any of your community members that are here.
Um,
Anything along those lines?
uh, Alpha. Ooh. Um,
Well, you did share a little earlier in the server.
yeah. So yeah, the server's got a little bit of alpha, but for you guys and your viewers, yeah, the cats are. We've got 5 characters. We've put out one and a bit. We've got a free upgrade to the art where we'll be putting bodies to the cats. If you do want a cat, go into Exchange Art, look for Virtual Nomad. There are 3 types of cats that you should be looking at, which is the Solana Maxis, the purple, the blue, and the green. There is enough there for everybody. So if you wanted to get a couple and you don't see, I do a lot of customization for guys. If I've got time, I'll certainly go look. I can take 5. Give me 5 people that want personalized cats. But I would say, if just being a member of the community, you don't have to spend big. We always give away cats as well. So there's stuff coming up in the next batch of Soul Snap where you'll get a cat. You might not get a prize, but you'll get a cat. Now I can guarantee that's 2 soul right there, and the payouts that come each month. Um, Torpedo Squadron, Cannibal Cabal. Two games that are coming up that I think are going to change and shift people's mindset again. Easy games, but hell fun. Artwork, I think, is off the chart. Again, I always try and take it up a notch. Um, yeah, and Christmas is going to be good for my members. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, man. I look forward to any new games. And guys, like I said, it's so much fun. I haven't had as much fun as I had the last 2 days in a long time. Just buying and minting and just playing a game. It's just fun, man. It's a lot of degen fun for me. I like to gamble. I like to have fun. I love pressing mint button. I love that kind of stuff. So I'm enjoying myself. So I don't know if it's for everybody, but uh, I just want to ask you, where do you see yourself in Web3 in the future? Like, do you see yourself staying here? Do you see yourself like making a career out of it that maybe you like don't focus so much on your real life work? Is that like the end game, or you just like doing what you're doing, where you're participating in your free time, almost like a hobby, but because you're generally helping people, so it's a little more than a hobby; it's like a passion. But where do you see yourself in the future of Web3?
Web3, I think I'm going to be around for the film side of things. Like I said, when we start, the physical media dies away and we start streaming, and they need to democratize, the how we pay people. That's where Web3 steps up. I'm going to be in that space. I'm going to be at the forefront of that space because I know crypto and I know film, so I can step across those two mediums very easily and bring them together and be a consultant, whatever. But to me, I just want to have fun. The space, I make relationships, I meet people in real life. They're always fun. Web3 is technology that I want to be able to turn around to my kids. I've got 4 kids and help them with, because I guess they're going to be the ones embracing it. Um, you
Yes.
know, I could say, "Oh, I'm going to go to the moon. I'm going to be doing this." The rags to riches stories are always great, but I'm not here to make that sort of money. I want to see it succeed. If it has benefits for the wider population, and like I said, the film community, the music community are already starting to see the benefits. The wider community, it's making instant millionaires, but also, it's also bankrupting people near enough. There's also that element of greed. Those people that like to rug, those people that like to rip off, the newcomers. I want to stamp that out. So I want to be a safe space and a rock from now to when the masses come pouring through the door. They go, there's a space I can, go and take a breather and find my legs and go out into the world. So that's where I'll be. You'll find me on a beach somewhere, still, working through a holiday. That's the kind of guy I am. I'll be working till I'm dead, just coming up with stuff. So that's me.
Yeah, man. I look forward to these new games and the future of Web3 itself. I just want to say hi. The Epiphany is in the crowd. What is up? Hope you're having a good night. Yes. Let's see what Ochi says here. I'm going to put it up on the screen, saying that you're really a gamer at heart from hearing how you speak. The idea that he has on connecting industries are gamified. It's something we quite need in the space. Web3 is fun. Yes. And that's exactly what I've experienced with the latest game that Virtual has put out. Is this fun again? I had fun in NFTs, and I haven't done that in a while. Everybody's down bad. Everybody's shitting on each other and farming engagement because Twitter pays
It's
you
like
now.
Lord of the Flies out there, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, hey, Twitter now pays me to shit on each other. So let's do
Yeah.
it. Let me engage as much as I can and say the most hateful things so that I get the most engagement and do absolutely nothing for this space but just make myself money. And that is the wrong approach. And those are the people I like to avoid. And you, sir, I like to keep in my close network of friends. So just want to say thanks, man, for coming out and doing this. I know it's already been past an hour. I know you are
Yeah. Sorry,
technically
guys.
you're technically working right now. You're in real life job from home. It is midday for
It's just pushing
virtual.
my work day back. That's all it's doing. So,
And he's got tickets to pay us. He needs to
oh,
get
God.
to. That's a lot more important than this conversation. Because people are like when in their tickets right now and gib because that's Web3
It's
stuff.
like little
Um,
hungry birds. I fly over the nest and they're all like, ah. So I go and go
And I
feed them.
just want to say, every Wednesday I'm going to be trying to do these shows. The times might vary depending on the people I'm interviewing. Next week, I do have somebody that's central in CET time. So the show will probably be earlier in the day for me, like 4 o'clock Eastern time. So it's 10 o'clock their time. And that's a big hint to who it is. I've already mentioned their name. Just saying, we're going to have somebody on
Is
camera
Sam
for the first
Friedman out
time.
of jail? Are you getting him on the show? What's going on? I've
Yes.
got some questions for that boy.
Yeah, and hopefully I can keep finding people that I find very positive in the space, and just try to bring them to the forefront and let people know you exist. Because earlier someone said it's like when they explain your project to people, they're like, "This doesn't exist. This guy doesn't exist out there. Like this guy can't give away all the money. Like it's impossible. This is a joke." But no, it's not. You actually do give away the money. I can attest to that. I've seen you give away all the mint funds. It's great. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I
And
really
Vince, say
appreciate
hi to
you.
Vince, and yeah, say
Yes. He'll probably
I'm
watch
here.
this in the he'll probably watch this in the morning. He's got a show. He's doing one last show before he goes on holiday. He'll be doing a live mint
Holiday.
tomorrow for Blocksmiths. He's going to be on stream with Alex, the founder of Blocksmiths, and they're going to be minting some Migos live. So that's tomorrow, and then Vince is on holiday for 3 weeks. You will not see him on stream. He'll be active in the community. He'll be working in the basement while he's on holiday. We still got him doing stuff. He's working on some things. And when he comes back, people, everybody in the coders, trust me, it's gonna get exciting. As soon as you see Vince back on stream mid-September, that is when shit's gonna hit the fan, and we're going full stream into our mint. So be prepared, get those views ready. And I just want to thank everybody for their time. Much more valuable than money, guys. Value that time, appreciate the time and the time that others give to you. And with that, everybody have a great night. Thanks for coming out.